Hello and welcome to the Project Communication Management tutorial video. Project Communication Management is one of the 10 key knowledge areas that lays the foundation of the project management framework. It plays a huge role in ensuring the entire project team are on the same page. Communication management is so intertwined with the other knowledge areas. When it's lacking, it can lead to the entire project to crumble. Project communication management consists of two main parts. The first part is developing a strategy to ensure communication is effective for stakeholders. The second part is carrying out those activities necessary to implement the communication strategy. This knowledge area works within three process groups: plan communications management, manage communications, and monitor communications. Now, there are many ITTOs that occur during these processes, and while we won't go through all of them, we will touch upon the most important ones for you to remember. To begin, plan communications management is the process of developing an appropriate approach and plan for project communications based on the information needs of each stakeholder. By doing so, we can engage stakeholders by presenting relevant information in a timely manner. And planning is the project charter. Now, why do we need one? Well, it identifies the key stakeholder list containing information about the roles and responsibilities of the stakeholders. If you know who your stakeholders are and what they do, you'll be much more prepared in what information you want to communicate. Two main tools and techniques that come into place during planning is communication technology and communication requirement analysis. Communication technology includes different types of methods used to transfer information among project stakeholders. Factors that can affect the choice of technology used are dependent on the urgency of the needed information, availability and reliability of the technology, ease of use, project environment, and lastly, sensitivity and confidentiality of the information. Communication requirement analysis identifies and defines the communication and information requirements of the stakeholders. Sources of information to identify and define project communication requirements includes the stakeholder register and stakeholder engagement plan, the number of potential communication channels such as one-to-one, one-to-many, the disciplines and departments and specialities involved in the project, and organizational charts to understand hierarchies within organizations. One of the main outputs of planned communications management is the Communications Management Plan, which describes how project communications will be planned, structured, implemented, and monitored for effectiveness. It includes things such as stakeholder communication requirements, information to be communicated, including language and format, the escalation processes, methods or technologies used to convey information such as memos, emails, and press releases, how resources will be allocated for communication activities, and flowcharts of the information flow in the project. Now for the second process group, managing communications. This process ensures the timely and appropriate collection, creation, distribution, storage, retrieval, management, monitoring, and the ultimate disposition of project information. It enables an efficient and effective information flow between the project team and the stakeholders, including choice of appropriate technology methods and techniques. In addition, it should allow for flexibility in the communication activities and allowing adjustments in the methods and techniques, and to accommodate the changing needs of the stakeholder and the project. One of the main inputs to managing communications is the project management plan. It is a document that can be used by everyone involved with a project to help communicate detailed information and describe processes that the project will undertake. Within it, it includes the resource management plan, which describes the communications that are needed for management of teams or physical resources. The communications management plan, as described before, is how the project communications will be planned, structured, monitored, and controlled. And the stakeholder engagement plan describes how the stakeholders will be engaged using the appropriate communication strategies. One tool used within managing is communication technology. During this process, factors that influence technology include whether the team is co-located, the confidentiality of any information that needs to be shared, the resources available to the team members, and how the organization's culture influences the way in which meetings and discussions are normally conducted. Then we have communication methods. The choice of communication method should allow flexibility in the event that membership of the stakeholder community changes or their needs and expectations change. So always make sure you can accommodate. And finally, communication skills, which are important to ensure communication competence, such as being able to handle feedback, using nonverbal communications, such as writing emails, or being able to do presentations. Outputs of managing communication include project communications, such as performance reports, deliverable statuses, and schedule progresses. Another output is the project management plan updates. This includes updates to the stakeholder engagement plan, ensuring stakeholder requirements are agreed upon and communication strategies are updated, as well as the communication management plan, and this would include any changes made to the project's communication approach. While there are many other outputs as well, the takeaway is that to always ensure your stakeholders stay updated on the process to ensure your project is successful. And the last process group is monitor communications. This focuses on ensuring information needs of the project and its stakeholders are met. The key benefit is to optimize information flow throughout the project. Monitor communications process can trigger an iteration of either the planning and managing process groups to improve communication through additional communication plans and activities. One major input to monitoring is, of course, the project management plan. Components involved include the resource management plan, which help to understand the actual project organization and any changes through understanding the roles and responsibilities. Next, we have the communications management plan, which contains the current plan for collecting, creating, and distributing information. It identifies the team members, stakeholders, and the work involved in the communication process. And lastly, the stakeholder engagement plan, which identifies the communication strategies that are planned to engage our stakeholders. Other document inputs that are included are the lessons learned register, the issue log, and project communications. Some tools and techniques that can be used during monitor communications are expert judgment. Those with specialized knowledge regarding communications with the public, the community, the media, even international environments. We also have the Project Management Information System. This provides project managers with a standard set of tools to capture, store, distribute information to internal and external stakeholders. This information in the system is monitored to assess its validity and effectiveness. Data analysis provides information about the effectiveness of the communication activities and can be achieved by reviewing change between desired and current engagement and adjust the communication as required. And finally, interpersonal and team skills. Observation and conversation help project managers to identify issues within their teams, conflicts between people, or individual performance issues. Discussion and dialogue helps to establish appropriate ways to update and communicate performance, and also to respond to stakeholder information. Some major outputs in monitoring communications include the work performance information. It compares how project communication was planned and how it's being implemented in the project and considers feedback from all stakeholders. Change requests are those revisions of stakeholder communication requirements and new procedures to eliminate bottlenecks within communication. And finally, the project management plan updates. Any change to the project management plan goes through the organization's change control process. This concludes changes to the communication management plan and the stakeholder engagement plan. Well, that concludes the process groups of project communication management. If there's one thing we'd like you to remember, it's this: the 5 C's of communication. This will help in creating an uninterrupted, systematic communication throughout any project. Use correct grammar and spelling. Use concise expression and eliminate excess words. Have a clear purpose and expression directed to the needs of the reader. Have a coherent, logical flow of ideas. And finally, control the flow of words and ideas. And that concludes our presentation. Thanks for listening.